Video 3. My name is Sana. My credentials are I'm 22, I live in London. I had a big physique transformation, I run 3 businesses, and I'm a final year dental student. Anyways, the point of this series is to take you on a journey of self-exploration and self-development to take you to your highest potential. The point of today's video is to talk about meditation, something that brings me a lot of joy, as you can see. Firstly, what is meditation? You've heard the term loads of times. Meditation to me is simply the art of doing nothing. Simple, right? It's so essential because we need it to unwind from the city life, from the busy life. We go about our days always using our attention towards everything, but never resting it. It doesn't make sense. We are always on our phones, on social media, playing sports, talking to friends, working, traveling, whatever it is. But when do we actually sit down and rest? Even when we eat our food, we don't do it mindfully. We're often doing something else, watching, talking, whatever it is. So therefore, why do we need it? To unwind from this busy life. Now, you might have heard the term grind set, i.e. working 16 hours a day, not sleeping at all, just pushing, and no rest. Well, everyone knows that within a day or two, or maybe a bit more, you will eventually burn out. So it's pointless. What you need to do is take that same relentless mindset and add the rest. So you're able to tackle the same goals that you have, but you're able to do this over a long period of time, so it's more sustainable and you will achieve more. So how are you gonna do this? Through meditation. Meditation to me is something which is labeled as NSDR, non-sleep deep rest. You might have heard Andrew Huberman talk about it and loads of other people. This is basically a term talking about a sleep-like state. Yes, so a restful state, but you are not asleep. It's basically like me shutting my eyes right now and becoming really calm, but I'm still awake, I'm still alert, I'm just relaxed. That is a really important state to be in every day. That is when you rest your mind, something we do not do, as I've said before. Now think about this. If you are a busy person and you do have fairly healthy habits, then what your sleep might look like is often your subconscious mind taking over, and then you're viewing and thinking about all your thoughts in the day. To some extent that's normal, and I've definitely experienced this for several years, but it's also not great because that processing should have been done before sleep, or at least some part of it. So therefore sleep is more restful, or should be more restful. Now I keep talking about rest. Why is this important? Well, you know that if you're training really hard, the gains are really going to be made through the recovery and the rest stage. If you're working your mind muscles as such, if you are academically pushing yourself, or if work is pushing yourself, at the end of the day, the rest is going to help you recover for the next day. So we know it's essential. And now my next point. This following thing is very hard for modern individuals. And that thing is to sit by yourself alone in a room for 15 or 30 minutes. Most people find this very challenging in the modern day. This is because they are often anxious, thinking about the next thing, they might think they're wasting their time, so on and so on. And people often say they don't have time. But if you then think about all the time you spent scrolling, some people it might be smoking, drinking, you actually end up wasting so much time in your day and your week. This time you could just sit idly. It doesn't sound amazing at first, but you should be doing this at least 15 minutes. Instead of scrolling for an hour, think about just sitting down 15 minutes and then tell me how you feel afterwards. If you want to scroll after, go ahead, but I know that you will likely feel a lot better and more peaceful once you develop this habit over time. Now I've kind of summed up the benefits, and really if you are in a very busy situation where you're working a lot, you're going to need this rest to continue to do this over a long period of time. The whole premise of these videos is self-development, and developing a calm, peaceful mind is something you can't buy. It's something only you can do for yourself. And honestly, it's beautiful. It took me years, but I've gotten to it and I love it. I'll talk about my journey with meditation. So I've meditated by myself for many years, and obviously I've had my ups and downs. When you begin, you might often be frustrated, you might close your eyes and then think, oh, there's an itch here, you might want to move, all that kind of stuff. You might be jittery. That's normal. I've had that. But like anything, with consistency, you will get better. It's learning to get rid of judgment. Am I doing this right? Is this the right way? So on. Get rid of the judgment, just accept how you are and stop tuning into these irritations. All you need to do is tune into your breath, but even that, you don't need to focus too hard. Just relax and rest. Now, often if you meditate lying down, here's a pro tip. You might end up falling asleep. To some extent, that's normal. And if you close your eyes and you fall asleep pretty soon after, that's likely a sign that you need more rest. So, change your lifestyle to get more rest. But the pro tip from me, so if you're lying down, you want to place the pillow behind your head, not behind your neck. See, if it's behind your neck, then you're pretty much in your sleeping position and everything's kind of rested. So you will fall asleep. But if it's behind your head, then your neck has to actively work. And what that does is it kind of keeps you awake. Not completely, but it definitely helps. So like I said, I've been doing this on and off for years, and what it's helped me do is focus more for the rest of the day, gain some clarity, and also it's made me more grateful. I often get time to process my thoughts, and then therefore I become more grateful over the little wins, and that's what we should really be celebrating if you're on a long journey of self-development. So today also marks my first day of going to group meditation. So I went to a Buddhist meditation center local to my flat, and I checked out what it's like to actually learn from a teacher but also be in a group. I thought this was quite interesting. We went through some mindfulness, some meditation, and some body awareness kind of exercises. This was amazing because first of all, it went on for 2 hours, and second of all, once you're with people, you don't have a choice to really back out. You can, but you kind of just end up focusing on yourself. Another person in my group today talked about the term peer pressure as such. Not really, but kind of. You don't really want to get up, so you end up focusing in on the meditation, and that's amazing. I left the meditation feeling so peaceful, and right before I had done my workout. So I went from a very stressed state, as you may say, to a very peaceful state, and it was the perfect balance and also the perfect cool down. I will also add that going to a group session, depending on where you go and what session it is, I was surrounded by a lot of elderly individuals. And to me, this was really good because often I'm surrounded by people my age, younger than me, my sister's age, and my parents' age. But you're not often surrounded by the elderly people of society, the general elderly people of society that might be outside your cultural or your religious backgrounds. For me, this was good because I felt like I was a better member of society, and I felt so intrigued by other people's opinions and how everyone's mixing together. You're able to help out, and everyone's in a nice, friendly environment where you're all trying to learn, grow, and relax in a healthy manner. In a slight way, it also increased my gratitude and my gratefulness to be young. You often take that for granted. I am young. You don't think that is a beautiful thing. Most people take it for granted. But when you are young, you are able to move more freely. There are so many benefits you have. You essentially will look better when you are younger than when you are older. That's mostly the case. There are so many benefits that we take for granted. So if you don't take this time every day to be grateful, to realize the situation that you are in, you will miss it. And then you will eventually get old because time waits for no one. And then you will start having regrets and thinking about the past. And that is not the state you want to be in. The state is always thinking about the present, or actually just being. It's not even thinking, it's just being. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is how you can incorporate meditation. So I would recommend it the same way I started, is with guided meditation. You can do it through apps, mindfulness, and there's a bunch of other ones that you've probably had pop up to you on YouTube and things. Use these apps. Start by doing 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes a day. Something small, but you want to develop the habit. Okay? Make sure you create time for this. It's really not going to take that much to find 10 minutes in your day. Once you've found this, try and dedicate yourself completely to the activity. Learn about it. See other people's experiences. Find new ways to relax. It's not going to be amazing on the first day. In fact, it might, but it may not. The point is, do it over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. As with anything, you need to spend time and spread that across loads of days to get better at this. To me, it's logical. If it's going to help me with my day and not take up too much time, why would I not do it? Then when you eventually get better and better at it, you can then develop to group stages, you can develop to 1 hour meditation. There's completely different levels to the game the longer you meditate for. And you will see that some famous people will say, I need to meditate a minimum of 1 to 2 hours a day. You might think that's crazy, 2 hours a day just to meditate. For some people, that is the bare minimum that they need because they experience the benefits that come with it. So as always, take the action, download the app, start the meditation, and do it for at least 7 days, at least 10 days, at least 30 days. Get yourself immersed in it, and I will see you in the next one.